Hi guys, this is the advisor and welcome back to my channel. Guys, I had another video coming up. So today is a day when I'm going to be putting out 2 videos. But I had to stop production on that previous video to make this one quickly. The reason for this short video, which I hope every one of my viewer and subscriber will actually watch and listen and take it carefully, is because I have to dispel some thoughts and some ideas that some of my viewers and subscribers have about me. It is important that I do this because my image matters to me, and how I am portrayed to the public is very important to me. I actually care what people think about me, and I've always put myself out there and put everything about me out there in terms of my personality and my views and where I stand on every single issue that I portray on here. Now, for some reason, there are some people who have misconstrued some of what I said in this video pertaining to Kamal Taff. Now, after making that video and seeing some negative responses, I felt that I had to give an explanation, because what my viewers and subscribers think of me and think of my position matters, as I said. After seeing their responses, what I did, I went ahead and I made in my subsequent video, I made it clear what my position was and try to dispel any misgivings they were having about me and my positions, and I thought I had explained it very well. Nevertheless, there is one person called Jason Miller 5369. Now, Jason Miller, this is what Jason Miller said. Advisor, I said I find you to be a hypocrite. No disrespect intended. And it seems I was right. In your last video, I heard you sympathizing with a contract killer who was in the morgue, saying he deserved a decent burial. Never once did I hear you refer to him as a Krasmite or Krebe. Yet I hear you classifying these poor, misguided youths, condemning them and calling them all kinds of names. Whether you are like them or not, remember one thing. In God's eyes, they all are humans. Stop preaching hate. Furthermore, make up your mind which side you are on, and stop speaking out of the 2 sides of your mouth. And there was one person, I can't bother with him, who went ahead and supported that. He agreed with that comment. Well, as you can see from what, this is his verbatim quotation. I haven't added or taken note anything, nor have I even edited his punctuation mistakes. Now, I am going to take what he said point by point by point by point and address them individually. As you can see, there are 6 different colored highlights. Now, the first highlighted words I'm going to address here. And the first point he made, I will now address. He said, in your last video, I heard you sympathizing with a contract killer who was in the morgue. Well, actually, that was not my last video. I followed up that with another one to clarify some things about what I had said about Kamal Taff. And there was also another one after that also, which I think that is the one that you actually put your comment on. Anyway, on the point of me sympathizing with a contract contract killer who was in the morgue. What contract killer was I sympathizing with? Like, really? There was a contract killer that I was sympathizing with? What contract killer? What was he doing in the morgue? Running up and down and killing Pupalik, or a hideout from police, or in there committing some mayhem, or he was working there? What was that contract killer doing in the morgue? Brethren, I was referring to a human body, not a contract killer. The contract killer left that body more than 4 months ago. That is an empty shell, that an empty box, that is a piece of something lying there in the morgue, not a contract killer. That was a human body that had once held the soul, the life of a contract killer. Are two separate and totally different things, those. And if you cannot spot the difference between those two, which I think should be obvious to anyone, because they are definitely not the same. And one would have to be actually imbecilic to think that that husk lying in the morgue is a contract killer. Next point. You said, never once did I hear you refer to him as a Christmite or Krebe Krebe. I was not speaking about Kamal Taff. If I was speaking of Kamal Taff, I would have referred to him as the same. I was referring to a body that was lying in a bag, desecrated and unburied. Why should I want to desecrate a human body? I am not that depraved, Jason Miller. And I would, as a human being, I would never lower myself to that level of depravity to desecrate a human body. Before I go on, let me elaborate on this for a moment. And I had put it in the video prior to this one. A wise philosopher once said, there are 3 factors which determined whether a society is civilized or compassionate. And those 3 pointers are how they take care of their young and protect their youth and their helpless. 2, how they protect their old, or should I say how they protect their elderly and their helpless. And 3, how the reverence they show to dead bodies. Now, if you have reached this stage where you see a dead body as something living and want to treat it and desecrate it, then I must say you are the lowest of animals. It is hard for me to even consider you as a human being. And this goes for anybody who thinks this way. I now move to another saying. Another wise philosopher once said, he who fights with monsters should be careful that he himself does not become a monster. Because if you stare long enough into the abyss will reflect back into you. Now, Jason Miller, you have no personal interest in what became of Kamal Taff. He killed nobody for you. You never catch him in the act of hurting anybody. Yet the bloodlust within you is so deep, so ravenous, so depraved that you could not treat a human body the way civilized persons treat human bodies, irrespective of what this character that had once been contained in that body and have since been long gone. You are carrying such a belly for the body when the character and person who had occupied that body is no more. And while you have no vested personal interest in it, you would are willing to go take that body and desecrate it. Even keeping it in the morgue for this long is desecration. Jason Miller, I'll say this. You are a ravenous beast. To me, you are just seeking any excuse you can find to bring out the worst and most depraved side of your nature. The difference between you and I is that I am still human. And I stop at the brink of the abyss. Anybody who would desecrate a human body cannot consider themselves to be any less than the character that are contained in that body. Because that is not human. Some of the things that makes us human, Jason Miller, are ethics, morals, principles, etiquette, and other types of cultural norms that encompasses individual societies. No, I don't think that Jamaica has reached the stage where we turn jackals and want to nyam human body. Because you are just seeking an excuse to work on the most depraved instinct that is contained within you. Any way, shape, or form. Now, let's move on to the third issue. You said, I hear you classifying those poor, misguiding youths, condemning them and calling them all kind of names. First of all, every name I call them deserve. Next thing, who misguide them? Their parents. Their parents fucked up. It's not my fault. But now that their parents have fucked up, society need to be cleansed of them. And I won't come after that. We need to cleanse the society of them because they are now tainted. And which I wouldn't be against. Their bodies would never be, I would never desecrate their bodies because I still contain a level of civility, a level of humanity within me. So, no matter how misguided they are, the fact still remains they are scums of the earth. Albeit misguided, their parents are to be blamed. So all we have to do, what would Jesus do? I remember that Jesus is God. Jesus would have just flood out the place and just down the whole effing lot of them and start over. And that would I want to do. But I would still have give them a decent burial. And you are going to talk about we are all humans? No, that's the section in red. We are all humans. You can be a human and you want to desecrate human body after the life has gone and it is of no more value to you in terms of vengeance and you want to desecrate it and then talk about you are human. Make that make sense. And the next one, the section in purple with the yellow writing. Me must stop preaching hate. You who want to take a body from the morgue, rip it to pieces and virtually nyami. A body that is no longer occupied by a human. A human that is long dead. A body from which the human life has long departed. And which deserves to be either cremated as a human body, disposed of as human, whether burial or cremation. And you wouldn't want to afford a dead human body that level of respect. And you want to classify yourself as human? And you're saying I'm the one preaching hate? Lastly, in that blue at the bottom, make up your mind which side you are on. I am on the side of getting rid of bad people, but I have not reached the level of barbarism like you, where I would want to desecrate human bodies. So, Jason Miller and all who think like you, your level of depravity and barbarism is sickening because none of you who think this way is doing it for vengeance. You can only do vengeance on a person who is alive. This is an empty hulk sitting in a morgue. And you want to carry out that level of barbarism on that body which is not going to hurt the individual who had once occupied that body, because that individual is no more. Yet you want to come down on it like a pack of wolves, like a pack of jackals, like a pack of hyenas. And then you still want to call yourself human or being anywhere like me? I will never ever come down to your level. I will never go down to that level. And I'll remain proud about everything I said. And I will always be in touch with my human side. And who not like my position, unsubscribe. Because I actually do prefer real human beings with a soul over here. Guys, thanks for listening. Like, share, leave a comment below, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.